deeper into who we are. Jenny, you want to start us off?
Sure. So as I said, I am a residential mortgage lender. I have been in mortgage industry for almost 2 years now. I spent 8 years as a middle school math teacher. So education has always been a passion of mine. And when I joined the mortgage industry, I jumped headfirst into committing. I was just very passionate for first-time home buyers. So I became a trainer for Virginia Housing. They offer down payment assistance grants for first-time home buyers, and that was something that I really focused on for my first year. And now I've become very involved with Grid Potomac, which is up in Woodbridge, and trying to educate in the investment space as well. So that's kind of why I wanted to be a part of this group, wanted to help kick this group off. There's so much that people don't know about investing, including myself. I'm not an expert at it, and I learn every day from everyone else that's in the room.
And I'm Daniel. I've been an investor for probably 7 years, if my math is right, something along those lines. Why I wanted to get into this group is because I wanted to help other people proceed forward in their investment career. I mean, I have people ask me every day that's never invested anything, and I love watching them get that first property. I love watching their portfolio grow slowly and slowly and slowly. And when they have that aha moment in their eyes where they get it. I love that feeling. What I want to accomplish with you all is to do deals, grow together. I mean, I want us all to be successful at everything that we do. And how can you connect with us? Well, I mean,
you taking the first step, you're here.
Yeah, that's the truth. You're already here. We've got your contact info, so we'll be connecting with you for sure.
That's not creepy. That's not creepy. Yeah. But the other thing about this group is that while we call ourselves leaders, again, we keep saying we're here to learn from you guys. So if you'll go to the next slide, we're going to go around the room, and each one of you is going to do the same thing and introduce yourself to us. Tell us where you are in your investment journey, what you're hoping to get out of this group.
And then pay attention as you hear people introducing themselves. And if you're trying to connect with somebody specific, there's going to be some networking after this. If you're looking for somebody who does small multifamily investments or somebody who does big multifamily investments or whatever you're looking for, they might just be in this room, so you make a good connection.
I think that's important to say too. Like when you guys approached me about being a sponsor, I was like, okay, what are you trying to sell me? It's like, why are we getting these people in this room? Because you come to stuff like this and it turns into a timeshare pitch or something like that. So, it really is just about the community and everybody that's in this room, everybody helping each other grow through real estate, other businesses, whatever it may be, just everybody trying to grow. So
yeah, Grid.
There's no hard sales pitch at the end of this or anything, so everybody can relax.
Yeah. With Grid, we're not trying to sell you anything, anything like that. We just want to help people grow. That's for sure. All right, Johnny, you want to start us off?
Sure.
Yep. Just
no pressure.
Up,
no
introduce
pressure.
yourself. Say as little or as much as you want to.
My name's Johnny. Got out of the Army a year and a half ago, about that. Buying my first property in the next 2 weeks, or we'll close in the next 2 weeks. Hoping to buy property similar to it the next one each year for the next 5 years, and then try to invest in something bigger. I'm hoping to learn from other people, and then I have no network, but I am debt free, so I also raise wealth dogs.
I like it.
You have a network. You're actually my
client. John?
So I'm Jonathan Lazaro. I live here in Roanoke. My wife and I, we came to the U.S. 8 years ago. I'm nervous. But so we own 4 properties. One we live, and we have 3 rentals. So our goal is to keep growing that, in the rental space. So that's kind of where we're at. We came in the U.S. 2014, and then we bought our first property in 2016, our first house. Then sold that in 2020, and then from there it was like, then we were able to buy the other properties after that. But again, it's just I'm a nobody. I came just 8 years into this country, and just kind of find people that have done it, and that's why I like being a part of a group like this, because people are supportive. And so we're looking to keep building our rental portfolio and see what happens.
Nice.
Hey, I'm Tony Perry. I own the Pro Source Wholesale here in town. I'm here because Scott asked me to be a gym on his right arm. His wife is on his left arm.
Best of both worlds.
I'm here looking for the same kind of benefit as finding other people who might need some of the services that I offer. So I can learn as well.
Okay.
Wholesaler, flooring, cabinets, countertops. What we do. I spent the last 18 years as a VP of sales and training for Pro Source nationally out of St. Louis. Moved here about 3 years ago because all my kids and grandkids were here, and purchased this business from an existing business, Pro Source. Been teaching others how to do it for 18 years. Decided I'd do it myself. I've all this business last March.
Nice. You're up.
I'm not that free.
About a year ago. I got out 31 years ago. I've been right here in Roanoke for 27 years. In business for 27 years. I have no interest in investing. But I'm glad you do, because I want to be your buddy and I want to help you sell your house. I'm a flooring contractor. I buy everything from Tony's company. I want you to call me on every property you have, whether it's a rental, a flip, or whatever. I'll take care of you. You just got to give us a chance. We have a really nice showroom. It's over by the airport. I'll send you the code where you can walk in the door. You can bring your clients there or whatever. Hit me up. I'm here.
All right.
What was your name?
Todd Knight. I brought cards for all you.
Man came prepared.
Okay, this is my husband, Todd Knight. I have been in the insurance business for 15 years. And I've been talking to this young man for about a year. And he's taken me on Goosehead. I'm leaving Austin. I have 1,000 different companies that write your business, your real homes with. So I'm excited to be here. We are not debt free. And I wish our middle child, which is 27, would have been here. He's very interested in real estate. So when we do this again,
Well, we're on
Sure.
Facebook Live. Tell them to.
Tell 'em
to
jump
on.
on.
I have a big, tall, 6'3" guy with me. And you know what? Give me a call. Somebody that Goosehead.
No, Justin, sit down.
You have your own slide.
So I'm Lisa Chapel Miller, because there's a Lisa Miller in town with a really interesting arrest record. And that is
I thought for sure that was you.
if you see the picture, you know that. I'm an interior designer, I'm a realtor. I own 17 homes of my own, but I've always lived in them. I haven't owned any investment properties, but
You didn't keep them after you lived in them?
no. Moved on, moved towns, moved all that good
Okay.
stuff. I moved across country 5 times, so started over all the time. But one of the reasons I'm here is that I come across properties all the time that sometimes I think would be good investment candidates, things like that.
Mhm.
And I love the project management part of it, going through the whole kit and caboodle for everybody. I jokingly say that I never leave. You get me forever. So I'm just kind of looking to expand my network on trying to be able to get people houses that, like right now I've got one that isn't really good for market. It needs to go to an investor.
Okay. Well, we got a couple of those here right now.
Mhm.
All right, my man who just walked in. I hate to put you on the spot right as you walked in, but you sat in the wrong place. So just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're hoping to accomplish here.
Not a problem. First of all, thank you for having this. My name is Will. I'm also a realtor. I guess my colleague Lisa is explained that. I'm not originally from the Roanoke area. I'm from Pittsburgh. I've done very little investing, but wanting to learn more. I do, along with real estate, as a realtor, I do offer project management service as well. And I love that. wanting to learn more, wanting to network with people, wanting to learn more, and get more into the finance of real estate.
All right.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yes,
That was great.
Perfect.
That was great.
All right, do I have to stand up?
Yep.
You don't have to stand. Never mind. Your sister says you have to.
My name is Christina Simpson. I am actually Jenny's sister. I live here in the Roanoke area. I bought my house 5 years ago, September of 2018. And since then, have, sorry, Todd, but done a lot of my own work in floors and things. But we really built up the equity in the house, and recently have started exploring HELOCs and trying to figure out what our next move investment-wise is. We were looking at relocating out of the area and purchasing another property as a primary property and then renting out the one we currently have in Cave Spring. But we're expecting now, so we decided to stick around a little bit longer. So now we're trying to figure out, we have this large HELOC and nothing to do with it necessarily for the time being. So we're exploring different options of investing. I've talked a fair bit with Daniel and with Jenny's husband Patrick about just different types of investing, but I think just it's a little scary because it's a large chunk of money and trying to figure out, if you spend it now, when you're going to get it back, or how to just continue to grow it. So just trying to figure out the best way to go about getting into that investment.
Alder, you don't want to tell us who you are? Everybody, that's Alder. She's got the highest net worth in the room right now. She puts us all to shame. And she's debt free.
I was the we part of it every time that she said we. Brent Warner. I'm kind of just here to learn and I guess network and figure out whether we should touch this HELOC, whether we shouldn't, and just try to get in the real estate game as early in life as possible to help that grow for the future.
All right. Lamar?
How's it going, guys? My name's Lamar. Born and raised here in Roanoke, Virginia. Been a full-time entrepreneur for over a year now. Consider myself a serial investor. If it makes money, it makes sense. I am new to the real estate game. Have not dabbled in that industry yet, but I'm not a stranger to finance and lending. I run a finance funding brokerage out of New Mexico. We help small business owners and prospective business owners get funding for investments, projects, ideas. Where it doesn't matter for your wedding. I had a client that wanted funds for her wedding come through a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, just looking to learn and see what type of information I can get.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I actually do clothing. I don't look like it right now. I just went to the gym. But Daniel is a client of mine, and I've learned so much from him about real estate. And so he invited me here. I have no investment, anything really. So I'm just here to learn more about that, to grow my own knowledge in it, and to connect with experiences with you guys. So I learn best from other people. So this is a really good idea.
You make your suits grow. She makes
I do.
great
She's the reason I look so good.
Yeah. So your son who is 3, I could probably help him.
Yeah, she makes my suits.
Yeah, I'm about to say she's
my favorite model. GQ, Mr. GQ.
Hello, I'm Michael Walsh, financial advisor of New York Life. I have no experience in real estate investing, but I want to add that to my portfolio. I'm excited to be able to talk all of you on any services that I can provide or learn from all the services that I do get to provide as well. So I'm happy to be here.
Nice.
All right, so my name is actually Michael Williams. I'm a financial advisor of New York Life as well. Me and Daniel have actually discussed working on a couple properties already. Nothing's really come through.
It will, though.
I plan on it. I'm actually inheriting a few properties, an apartment building, a couple other townhomes. So there's a lot in the works, a lot we've discussed, a
My name is Ian McCracken, and I just joined a team with Daniel here, working as a realtor. And I'm currently an investor. I got a couple $100 in Robinhood. Property types, anything that'll make money, hopefully like cash flow. And then what I hope to benefit is just knowledge on what deals to find, like what are the good deals and like what are investors looking for and how to find that for them. So I can be like of use as a realtor, because like right now I don't really know that much.
You don't skip leg day.
Yeah, he does not skip leg day ever.
I guess I'll stand over here now.
He made it a thing.
I'm Kelsey. I've been friends with Daniel a long time. Kind of drug Daniel into real estate. And so I've had a couple real estate teams. I'm working on a new one right now with a lot of new agents like Ian. I just got into investing probably in the last 2 years. They forced me to it because I like to spend money on travel. But I'm really glad that I got into it because I've learned a ton through Daniel and some of his creative things that he's done. I'm sure he's learned from you. He's definitely filtered that over to us. And I'm mostly in the New River Valley, so you other realtors don't have to worry about me. I don't work around here. Mostly Giles County, Montgomery County areas. I'm really interested in commercial right now, which I know there's not a lot here, but I've really spent probably the last 6 months diving into that, getting in the know of how to get those properties pre-market. Pretty good at it. But I really need help on the financing part and like how to get creative with it. So I also love to flip houses. But I also think they're sometimes great, sometimes not. And I've been on both sides of that. So I'm happy to share those experiences with you.
Nice.
Tyler Cole. I do residential contract work. Right now, about 50 to 60% of my business is large scale renovations. We flip houses. I also do about 20 to 30% home repair, home inspection repairs. We cover everything, roof to foundation. I got a team of guys. Really lean on Daniel for investing. We've got one, working on 2 more. Partner with him. And
Yeah, closing in a week and a half, hopefully. Yeah.
So, got a good investment team here. I've got a couple projects. We're working our way up. We're mostly in the River Valley, working our way up into Roanoke. We got several going on up here now. So I think I'm gonna drive up 81. Get to know me. Tyler Cole. Yes. What's your company? Well, so right now I've been pretty small. Mostly me and a couple guys, and actually looking to partner with a family business. So hopefully maybe Commonwealth Enterprise.
Nice.
All right. Hi, y'all. I am Janaea. I am a counselor with the Financial Empowerment Center. That is a co-effort of the City of Roanoke and Freedom First Credit Union. I have 8 years of banking experience and putting people in debt, what I used to do. And now for the past year and a half, I take people out of debt. So I'm pretty good at it. And my friend here, I've been knowing him for years as well. We do a sales thing. I went another route, banking and real estate. I'm jealous. I went your route.
It's pretty fun.
I'm pretty good at banking too, but I love the financial counselor. He's an advisor, so that's a little different. He can sell you money, but I like to take people out of that. I sell financial well-being, financial wellness, just trying to get your head straight. I have the struggle clients and I also have clients who don't know with their HELOCs, and I talk to them about that. Single parents, I'm like a financial buddy, a friend. So, and a free service. That's what I do.
Nice. Right on. Well, I saw everybody's eyes light up when I told y'all that y'all were going to be kind of introducing yourselves. But y'all did a great job with that. And I think that's super important because it makes sure that everybody kind of knows who everybody is. So that way you've got an easy connection afterwards when we're doing some networking and things. I mean, you've already basically introduced yourself to that person already, so it makes it nice and easy. All right. And now we've got a couple of sponsors, and now it's Justin's. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm Justin with Goosehead Insurance. I'm a P&C brokerage. I own a P&C brokerage. Lisa is my first employee that's coming on. Super excited to get her going June 1st. So I really incidentally kind of got into doing the insurance on the rental properties, and this was a great opportunity when Daniel brought it up to me and asked me to partner with them, with Grid Valley Investors. So I knew nothing about doing policies on rental properties. I can do short-term investments now. I can do or short-term rentals. So if you've got Airbnb, we can do all of that. Long-term rentals, obviously, flip houses. Pretty much anything investment related I can do. I've spent a lot of time figuring it out within the systems and all that. There's a lot of agents around here for some reason that don't want to do them, especially like flip houses and stuff like that, but I absolutely love them. So I figured out like all the different coverages and all that kind of stuff if something goes wrong and you need to use it. So would love to help you guys out. Looking to get into investing in the future. Right now, my eyes on the ball with my agency, obviously bringing somebody on board, but definitely something possibly commercial. Me and Daniel have talked about that as well too. So thanks for having me as a sponsor. I appreciate it.
Thanks for helping us out. I appreciate it. And then we've got a couple more, but they unfortunately could not make it. We got Jonathan Kruko. He is a commercial lender with Skyline, and he's done a ton of my deals, ton of clients' deals. He's a top-notch guy. Next, we have James Jordan. He's a local attorney. He's got a ton of knowledge. He's been doing this for over 20 years. He knows how to do all of the creative financing things when it comes to all the paperwork, which is super important. All right. And then we've got Josh Morris as a home inspector. You know, home inspecting is super important when it comes to investing. You know, you don't want to get into an investment property and think you're only going to have a $20,000 renovation budget. And then you come to find out you've got an extra $30,000 in foundation issues on top of all that. So it's definitely good to have a good home inspector in your back pocket so he can get you taken care of. Now, this is all important legal stuff.
Read carefully. Every word, read carefully.
Yeah, I need all of y'all to read it out loud real quick. Basically states that we're not financial advisors, so I can't give you financial advice, but I'm here to help in any way possible, all right? And a release notice that we are filming you right now and taking pictures, and we're going to use them for blackmail later. All right?
So think of real estate investing as a game. Here's how we'll think of it as a game. You need to take it seriously. Understand that it is a business. You are investing in yourself. You are investing in your future. There are rules and there are levels that allow you to play this game and ultimately to win at this game. You win by doing what Grid considers the income flip, which is when you create enough passive income that you now exceed your household expenses. So you no longer need to have that active working income because your passive income pays for all of it. And ultimately, that's the goal of all of this. Like Daniel said, we don't all want to work forever, but we all need something to pay our bills, right?
The goal is to learn the rules, build a business, and acquire investments. Then use leverage to expand. There's a lot of controversy out there about, you know, being able to purchase a property, all cash, save up until you got all that to make sure you're safe. And then there's the opposite end of that, and some people want to leverage everything that they possibly can to acquire more properties quickly, which that's what I'm about. Give me all the debt. I want all the debt. In a week, I'm going in over $1 million worth of debt, and I am super stoked about it. I love that, and I can't wait for 2 more million. I think she's just got blind faith, which I'm fine with. And then if we've all got an investment mindset, I'm sure almost everybody has seen this, the cash flow quadrant. Does anybody know what this is? No, have not? Okay, so we're going to learn a little bit about it. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a lot of people's aha book by Robert Kiyosaki. And then also another disclaimer, we don't own this cash flow quadrant. He does. We'll go on to the next slide. In the game you are looking for, you want to go from a W-2 employee to a business owner, and from self-employed to an investor. So E is where the majority of people are. I mean, probably 90% of people in the world is a W-2 employee. It's easiest. You know, your parents taught you to just go out there, get a blue collar job, go into a 401k. You'll have $1 million by the time you, I almost said graduate, but not graduate, by the time you retire, and then that's what you're living off of. We'll go on to the next one. And then there's self-employed, which a lot of us are here because, I mean, as a real estate, if I don't get out of bed and do anything all day, I'm not making any money. So as a self-employed person, I got to go out there, make my own money. And a business owner, I'm starting that right now with Kelsey and I's team. It's basically a business. So we're starting a business and it's going to grow and expand. And eventually that's going to be able to pay for more investments, pay for cash flow to where I'm not working my whole life. And
the
then the
goal
last
to
quadrant,
get there is the delegating.
Yeah, you got to
That's
delegate
huge.
because you got to release that control. I kind of want to do everything all the time, and gets me in trouble sometimes because I think I can handle it all. But unfortunately, I can't be in 8 places all at the same time.
So I was just going to note that an important thing just for me is that, you know, as an employee, we trade time for money. Right?
Yeah.
And we're always, and then self-employed, we're still doing some of that. But you get to that business owner, it's like, you know what, you delegate like what you're saying.
Yeah, you're making money, and it's not coming out of the time that you're spending out doing your day-to-day job.
Yep.
And then investor is investing in assets. So while you're sleeping, that duplex that you bought is making you money. That single-family house that you've got tenants in is making you money. That flip that you bought that your contractors are working on, that's going to make you money.
So we want you guys to reflect. You don't have to answer out loud, but think about where you are in this quadrant and where you ultimately want to be in this quadrant. If you want to go from actively working to earning passive income, you have to learn to become an investor. Otherwise, you're going to be stagnant. You're going to stay as an employee forever, or you're going to stay self-employed forever. You have to make that flip over to an investor. And now we talk about how we do that. So step 1 is the reality check. And this is huge. It's reflecting on your investment journey, wherever you are in your investment journey. So if you'll go to the next slide, Justin. You guys all have notebooks. You can write this down if you know it off the top of your head as a reflection if you want, but I think this is huge. What are your total household expenses? What do you pay each month? Mortgage, rent, utilities, water bill, Netflix bill, grocery bill. What are you spending every month? And what do you have?
Much on food.
What is your current net worth? It's so important to know where you are so you know where you want to go. Because again, like we mentioned at the beginning, that income flip, you have to know how big that flip is. For some, it's bigger than others. You know, Daniel talks about he's in debt up to his neck in investment properties, but that's inching his way towards that income flip. Because ultimately those are the rent is paying for themselves on long-term rentals or short-term rentals. So. Think about how much you're spending and where you're overspending. So there are tools out there, obviously, that can help us cut back or minimize or eliminate some of those expenses and how to track them. Intuit or QuickBooks and Mint.com are great ones. They're all owned by the same company, just to track what you're spending. So many people, I did a video for Financial Literacy Month a couple of weeks ago, and it was about budgeting. And 95% of people say they don't have a budget. They don't know what they spend and they don't know what they earn each month, which is insane, right? Because most people get by just fine without thinking about it. Think about how much you could take control of your financial life if you truly tracked what you're spending and what you're earning. And as you start to increase that income with whatever assets you're acquiring, how that builds there.
Also wanted to touch base on the last thing. If you take your household, and all the money coming in and all the money coming out, and you treat it like a business, it's definitely a great mindset to be in. Because the whole point of being a business is you want to be a profitable business, right? So you want to make sure that your money coming in is less than the expenses going out. So if you just break your whole household down like you're running a business, you're going to be profitable with it. And then step 2, learn the language. Learn the language and what a good deal looks like in your area. So we're going to go over a couple of rule of thumbs. Now you can hit the button.
We'll get a clicker for next time. Oh,
so every time you're putting cash out into the world into an investment, you should be thinking about what your cash on cash return is. So the rate of return ratio that calculates the total cash earned on the total cash or equity invested in a deal. Now, not every deal has to be a cash flow property. I mean, especially depending on where you're at, which in Roanoke, we don't really have to worry about it too much. I mean, appreciation is nice, but if we were in someplace in California or down in Florida, sometimes you don't even have to cash flow to make a boatload of money. If you buy an apartment complex, you flip it, you're in the hole for 2 years, but then you go and sell it after the rents have increased. I mean, you've made $1 million plus if it's the right deal. But equity and appreciation is how you can make a boatload of money, but cash flow is how you get to stay in the game, because if you got cash flow, you got money for all the expenses going out, water heater breaks, need a roof replacement. So a lot of people won't touch a property unless you've got a cash on cash return. And depending on what you're looking for, depends on what kind of cash on cash return you're willing to take. And also kind of depends on what the deals are out there. There's so many deals out there that right now that people wouldn't have touched 3 years ago because the interest rates have gone up, and they're only getting a 5%, 10% cash on cash return because that's a good investment sometimes. And then 3-5 years ago, people were expecting 10 to 15%. So there's a lot of factors that play in it. For a basic formula for fix and flip, this is some really rough kind of back of the napkin math, but you want to be at about 70% ARV for after repair value minus the renovation cost is what you'd want to purchase that property at, or less if you can get that sweet of a deal. But also, same kind of thing, it kind of depends on where you're at. If you're buying a $80,000 property, 70% of that doesn't leave you a whole lot of room for errors. I mean, if you're only making a $10,000 return on it and something goes wrong, that screws the whole deal up. You open up a wall and you've got some issues that you weren't expecting. So you might have to get the lower income properties at a 50% discount and not a 70% discount. And same thing for the opposite end of it. If you're buying a $2 million property out in California and you're at 80%, you're still making $400,000 on a deal. I mean, I wouldn't turn that down just because it's not it fits a 70% rule. But for most properties, 200 to 500, 70% is about where you want to be. And then for buy and holds, the 1% rule. So that basically states if you can get a property to rent for 1% of what you bought it for. So let's say you buy a property for $150,000, you can rent it for or $1,500. That's a pretty solid deal. And same kind of thing with the way interest rates fluctuate and what kind of deals you've got out there. An 8% right now, or 0.08% right now, not a horrible deal. You're still cash flowing. You can still make it work. And then later on, you've got appreciation. You've got loan buy down. You can refinance and get it up to a 1 to a 1.5% deal, and it can work out for you. And then the 50% rule is kind of a rule of thumb as far as expenses go for a property. Typically, after you pay all expenses, you're at about 50% of your income that's come in. So if you've got a property that's written for $1,500 after taxes, insurance, CapEx, property management, vacancies, everything that you've got to go in there and make accounts for, you're at about 50% of that.
Step 3. This is a marketing game. It's all about who you know and learning how to know the right people. I was ahead of my slide.
That looks familiar.
Go back one more. The simple marketing message, you guys have probably seen it a million times in these plain white signs on the side of the road: we buy houses. I relate back to when I joined the mortgage industry. I had been a teacher. I didn't have social media. Nobody knew me on social media. So I was huge about making sure that everyone knew what I did and that I was passionate about what I did. And this simple message is the same thing for us as investors. We buy houses. What do? We buy houses. Does it matter? No, but we want someone bringing the opportunity to us so we can analyze that and figure out where we go next. They need to know what we do and that we're passionate about what we do.
I find a way to bring up the fact that I buy houses in almost every conversation. I mean, if I meet a new person, somehow houses are going to get pushed in there.
Yeah. So when we say the word prospect, we're talking about driving for dollars, making offers, calling agents, letting them know that you're buying houses, networking, coming to events like these, finding other events where you are in a room with investors, wholesalers, other agents, building that network to bring you opportunities. Again, that is the purpose of this group in this room. So you've already taken the first step to growing your network. And then marketing. Learn the messaging, the methods, and the budgets to get sellers to call you. Finding ways to attract those sellers for the properties that you want to buy.
Step 4 is buy rentals. Definitely. Preferably using the Burr method. There's definitely more than one way to skin a cat, but if you use the Burr method, you can scale a whole lot faster. So the Burr method, for those of you who don't know, is buy, rehab, rent, repeat. So you're going to buy the property, you're going to put money into it, you're going to rehab it. You can buy it all cash. You can definitely score better deals and get it at a... Oh, there's a whole slide for that. Nice. I was ahead of myself too.
There were a couple more
I did
in
forget
there.
refinance. So you want to buy the property, you want to renovate it and add value to it, and then you want to get it rented. And then after it's rented, you go to the bank. You go to the bank and say, "Hey, this property is renting for this amount of money. What could I refinance it for? Pull that equity out." So they'll refinance it for you. You pull hopefully all the money that you've spent on buying it and doing the rehab, and then you've got all your money back in your pocket. You have no money in the deal. And if you got no money in the deal, that means you've got a whole bunch of money in your pocket to go repeat it.
And if you've rented it properly, you have pure cash flow out of that property that you now have no money invested in.
Mm-hmm.
Step 5 is to grow a network of professionals to help you manage the portfolio. We call this your dream team. You shouldn't go it alone, nor do you have to go it alone. Obviously, that's why you're here. You're going to need a ton of experts to be an investor: agents, lenders, property managers, contractors, attorneys, financial advisors, people who specialize in investments and who can help you with the little things that pop up and will pop up as you are going through your investing journey.
Now, this is a diagram just to kind of show how much money you're going to start off with and how much money you're going to make at the end. It's pretty awesome when you really look at it like that. So you don't wait to buy real estate. You buy real estate and wait. So you may start off with $100 cash flow on a deal, but as time goes on, appreciation typically goes up. Yeah, there might be some drops here and there, but everybody knows eventually it's just going to keep on going up because houses just keep on going up. Inflation keeps on going up. The debt ceiling keeps on getting raised. The dollar keeps on, inflating. So the more that stuff happens, the more it's going to appreciate. And then every month, your loan is getting paid down by your tenants. And then your rental income, it's not going to grow as much as appreciation, but you should be, increasing the rents every year. Every time they start a new lease, bumping it up just a little bit. The rule of thumb is about 3% per tenant if they renew. And then if you do some renovations, you can bump it up a good bit. If the property's, had a tenant in it for 10 to 15 years and they've destroyed it, you got to go in, refurbish the whole thing. And then it's a whole completely different house, looks way better. That next tenant that you're putting in it, you can bump it up a good bit. So what's stopping you? Let's bust some common myths. Myth busters.
So myth number 1, it takes money to make money. Not necessarily. You don't always need money, you need knowledge. Everyone will start at 0, and this group is how you find the resources to fund any opportunities.
Myth number 2, I don't know enough. Well, that's why you're here. We're going to help you out with that. Information is cheaper than ever. YouTube University and networks like Grid are full of free and low-cost resources. Again, everyone starts at zero. What makes the difference is gaining a little knowledge and acting on it. So all of y'all are already taking the right step in that.
I don't have any connections. You do now. There is also a free Grid Facebook group. We have our own Facebook group, Grid Valley Investors. If you haven't joined it yet, we will have these meetings on the fourth Monday of every month, and hopefully continue to grow the size of this group and grow the amount of people that we have in here. Real estate investors are some of the most engaged and helpful people on the planet, and you'll learn that. I've learned that. I have been attending the Grid Potomac group up in Northern Virginia for a couple of months now, and just the amount of information that investors are open and willing to share their experiences and to help you try new experiences in your investing journey is amazing.
We find what stops people is fear of the unknown or of failure. This is just a lack of knowledge. If you know the right stuff, you don't have to be afraid of it. Overanalysis. I was a part of that at some point. I dove in feet first and bought a property not knowing what the heck was going on. And then I started to think about expanding and getting more properties. And I was just analyzing deals and thinking it over too much. And then finally I just made the decision. I was like, look, if the numbers make sense, I'm going to buy it. And then I did, and went in a little too blind. And, found myself in some rough properties. But even those rough properties, my worst performing property that I've ever had, I sold it last year, and I still made a good return on it, cash flow wise, and selling it after a couple of years. And so that means even if you got a bad deal, if you hold on to it long enough, it works out. Inaction. Learn, but don't let learning get in the way of action. So, don't just want to try and get all the information before you finally make a decision. If you get into it, it's going to work out. Just make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Talk to your network. Make sure you can reach out to us if you need any help with anything. We're happy to help. Spitball ideas, things like that.
And we're both connected to more people in this investment community as well, as we are a part of Grid. So if you need someone to hold your hand, we will help you find that someone to hold your hand.
Lack of community. Put yourself out there and find mentors, partners, and friends. The Grid community is full of great people. Be one of them. And bad advice. Proximity matters. Surround yourself with people who do things and want to win the same game as you. I know when I first got started, everybody was telling me not to buy real estate. They were like, oh, you're going to be dealing with tenants and toilets, and then you're going to have to replace roofs, and you're not going to have any money, and you're just going to be broke the whole time, and the real estate market's going to crash. You're going to lose a whole bunch of money, and this, that, and the other. And I just don't listen to them. It's in one ear, right out the other, because I know how it's going to turn out, and it's going to turn out great, because I'm going to make sure it turns out great.
And what else is there to learn? So much. So as we said, we're going to be meeting the fourth Monday of every month. And here are just a few of the topics that we're going to be going over. How to evaluate rental and flip properties, and to estimate costs and cash flow. So when you walk into a property, we're not experts on it. This is going to be a great way to create an expert out of yourself. How to use subject to and other creative financing methods. So a lot of you mentioned wanting to find ways to finance deals. This is a great one for you. How the short-term rental market works. So these are your Airbnbs, your VRBO properties. How to use the tax code to your advantage. I'm not speaking of that one.
I'm not speaking of that one either. We're going to have a guest speaker for that one for sure.
How to structure your business for asset protection. So again, how to protect yourself as you are acquiring assets and acquiring properties. Any questions?
All right. Yeah. Any questions, aha moments? Anything y'all want to chat about?
You kind of talk through what you've seen with the Potomac group as far as like collaboration within the group.
Yeah.
I know Patrick's helped some other realtors that were looking at rehabs or flips and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So
what you've seen.
A lot of these groups end up filling up with realtors because typically the leaders are realtors and no realtors, or, every single person in this room has a connection to a realtor, whether you know it or not. And a lot of what has helped in the Grid Potomac group was them being open to sharing their experiences and being open to just pick up the phone. Hey, I have a question. I'm trying to write this contract and I don't know how to write this, or I need help finding the money. I need to figure out where I can get 20% down. I can't let this deal fall through the cracks. And everyone has kind of stepped up to say, yes, we will of course help you. Call us. We'll do a deal with you. Call us. We'll help you through it. So it really matters having a group that wants to see each other succeed and wants to help each other grow.
And it seems like it's changed perceptions of a lot of realtors up there, because there's a lot of realtors out here that they don't own any real estate. They're perfectly fine with just helping people buy and sell their real estate. And he had somebody come up to him and was like, I've got this deal and I feel like it's a good move, but I just have no idea. So he's helping them make that shift. Because I mean, it's the same way with me. Anytime I find somebody comes to me to want to list a house, I don't think about listing it first. My first assumption is, how can I buy it? Will it work as an investment for me? And then if it doesn't, then I help them sell it.
Yeah, you turn it around. But that's how it is. And a lot of investment deals deal with unique situations. So having the person in the room that can help guide you through that. So we've dealt with quite a few tricky probate deals. I had a seller die while my contract was active. I didn't know what to do. So I called the real estate attorney that was in the grid group and I said, I need your help. I had someone who said, my girlfriend's moving out. She's on title. I don't want her to take my house. I called my real estate attorney. I need your help. You know, it's having the person there who can answer your question during that tricky time when you're not sure what to do.
And helping estimate repairs or getting in touch with the right person that can help estimate repairs that need to be done.
Yeah,
that's true.
I know for me, that's like one of the big things. Like, I would have no idea if I'm watching the house, how much it would cost.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
yeah.
A lot more.
Yeah. If I could just have that man over there just attached to my hip when I'm walking through a house. Yeah. And don't be bashful about asking questions. I mean, there's a lot of people here, a lot of ranges on investments. So don't think that there's going to be like a silly question, because I mean, somebody else might be thinking it and just too nervous to speak up. So you might as well just go ahead and speak up. That way everybody can learn from it.
So I have a hypothetical. So this property that I saw, I'm looking for stuff, and then saw that one that's downtown. It's like 1.8 million. I can't afford that at all, but my goal is to try to be able to afford something to invest in.
I really like that property.
Yes, I do. And then I wanted to really lowball them, and I wanted to get 10 other people to then slightly highball them more than I lowball them. And I'd like to build up a network right now. But on a serious note, my question would be, in like 5 years, if something like that comes along, is this the kind of like Grid is the kind of people that like I still couldn't, but I could like get 50%. I can cover 30%. My brother can cover another 30%, and therefore we work together to try to make that happen. Grid something that would develop.
Yeah, there's a lot of so the Grid Potomac group is probably like, there's probably like 10 investors in there that all they do is give the money. That's all they want to be, is the silent investor. They're not interested in, you know, the toilets and the tenants, but they are interested in giving you the money to buy a house and get a return from that.
Or partnering on the deal.
Yeah.
Or creating a syndication. There's going to be a whole class on syndications. So syndication is kind of like when somebody goes out, collects a culmination of money from a whole bunch of different investors for the sole purpose of going out and buying real estate with it, getting a return, and then paying those investors off. Because I mean, shoot, I wish I had millions of dollars to go and do that, but unfortunately I don't. Yet is the key word there. So until then, a syndication would be definitely a good opportunity for somebody who doesn't have the money to invest, but has a desire to invest and the knowledge to invest. So there's definitely, Grid, I think, is definitely a good community to be able to put people together to make things like that happen.
Definitely.
My man was right just like because I was there. I actually have a two-part question. Number one, what is, because I was late, but what is Grid? I hear that you're saying.
Think you can slide back?
Yeah. So Grid is a national name. It is a nationwide name, and we are just one of their hyper-local groups. So there are hyper-local groups all over the place.
Not national. It's in other places of the world.
Essentially, they provide us as investors with opportunities and education to bring to you guys. So they provide us with some of this content. They've taught us. We have taken their courses to share with you. We're not experts. We're here to guide a group of whether experienced or not experienced investors, to learn from each other.
Great. And you actually tapped on my second part of the question as far as collaboration, maybe within this group or anybody else around the state. Would this be a group that will foster collaboration, let's just say, or, you know, Melissa, I know her from social media. That's the only reason. Will this group, or can this group foster those relations?
That's the goal.
That's the game plan.
That's the goal.
This is our first meeting, so this is our kickoff. But
Yep.
our goal is to. There's a whole nother room back behind us that we can take off this wall.
Yeah.
Our goal is to fill up that room and then eventually get too big for this and have to, start doing stadiums maybe. I don't know. Shoot, I'll rent out Dr. Pepper Park. We'll hold meetings there. I mean, definitely want to grow.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's grid all over the world. I went up to this past Thursday and went to the Grid Potomac and already made connections there that people are trying to do deals down here in Roanoke.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of opportunity to grow.
Very excited to be here. We have to go. I look forward to getting to know you all.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
See you next time.
If you want to flip back to the end, Justin, we can throw up the last couple of slides. Were there any other questions?
How does financing work for like self-employees?
So it depends. There are lots of options. There are products that are specifically for investment properties. I'm working on one right now called a DSCR loan. So it's called debt service coverage ratio. So it doesn't use the buyer's income. It uses the potential revenue the house can bring in. So if the house's rent covers what the house's mortgage will be, it qualifies. So there are products like that. There are your traditional loans that you can get for investment properties. There's lots of unique stuff out there.
What type of documents do they ask for?
So debt service credit ratio, or the DSCR loan? No, they're looking at your credit score. They're looking that you pay your primary residence. They're looking for ID documents. They don't look at your income at all. And there is a whole session on creative financing. And it's an amazing session that talks about seller financing, other creative and alternative financing. So that's going to be a good one too.
I'm actually in the middle of one of those right now.
Yeah.
I'm doing a subject to loan as well as a kind of three things. Subject to loan, so I'm assuming somebody's mortgage. Their owner financing me a portion of their equity. And they also wanted money down on the table, so I got a private money investor to give me the down payment.
All at once.
I'm all doing it all at once, and no money in the deal, and I'm still going to be cash flowing $200 to $300 a month after it's all said and done.
And if all of that was Chinese to you, again, we're going to have a session that explains some of those terms and how that's done, and you will learn a lot. I did the first time I went to one of those, so yeah. And then to keep you guys connected, these are some of the links to our social media. You said this is where you can go to register for next month's event. You'll find all of our events there. We've got all your information, so we'll send out the slide deck when we're done here, and we will remind you guys when our next event is, send you a newsletter, and keep you guys in the grid. Yes.
Yeah.
Same time, same place.
We're locked
Monday.
into a year lease, so we'll be here every fourth Monday for a year at least. All right. Any other questions? Comments? Concerns? Neat tricks you can do?
Y'all handle people that start at ground zero?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was at ground.
Yeah.
Nah, I think I'm broken to you.
Uh-huh.
He was in.
I can smell it.
He was in ground zero.
Yeah.
But I will cash out 401k. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I said I'm ready to take a risk. I said I can't afford to risk myself on a single family home right now. Looking for a multifamily is just
Well, that's
it
what
is
I
right
mean.
now.
And I have a twin brother that is going to be doing the same thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm a testimony, I guess. To that.
Yeah. But they came to me and wanted to get.
Yeah. Yeah.
They wanted to get under contract on some small multifamilies, and we looked for a short while, and now we are about to close, hopefully in the next 2 weeks, on a triplex. But also, I want you to look at it this way. You say you're going to risk it by taking out your 401k and putting it into a house. To me, the risk for me is leaving that money into the 401k because that's only going to grow so much. But yeah, so it's all a mindset.
Right. I don't have a down payment. So I'm just like, I'm gonna have to just do it, but it's not doing anything. It's just go buy my tennis shoes when I get home. So you're right. I take classes. My chief officers at the credit union do this thing where they teach us classes. It's called Freedom University. And our chief banking officer pretty much said that. He said, if you're not taking a risk in life, you're risking more by not taking a risk, by staying in your situation. So
yeah.
it is what it is.
I mean, if you're not making a return on your money, inflation's at 7% right now. So you're losing 7%. Not 70. Yeah. 7%. We're all in trouble if it's 70%.
And then this is free Grid Press. If you're looking for podcast episodes, other slide decks, more to learn more about Grid, this is where you want to go. It is free to gain access and go.
And now go take massive action.
Massive action.
All right. And we're just going to kind of hang out and network for a little while.
Yeah. If you have any other questions.
Chit chat with everybody. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank y'all for coming. We appreciate it. I hope everybody learned something.